Hi, Christina Lynn here. Um, Today I want to talk about Social Security benefits and millennials. I'm a millennial, so I'm interested in this, and I feel like our generation is just confused about like especially Social Security benefits, but maybe even retirement in general. Um, because it's information overload. We get so much information. We're like, what do we do? Like, who do we listen to? And who's telling the truth and who's just selling us? And so it's confusing, it's overwhelming, and today I'm going to give my 2 cents. I don't have the answer, but I'm going to weigh in. This was discussed in one of the classes that I'm taking for my master's program, and I found it really interesting. Um, and I think it needs to be put into that millennial perspective because um, I feel like the millennials that I've talked to assume that it's going to be around and that they can rely on it. And I guess I just don't share that opinion. But I don't know if I'm just being too if I'm just being too looking at it too harshly, um, or um, if I'm right. I don't know. You tell me. Um, so let's look at a quote. I looked at an article on the Huffington Post. Um, it says that half of all millennials that were surveyed by this Pew Research Center, a survey that was done in 2014, they believe that the Social Security system will go bankrupt before they retire. And I guess I would be included if they were to survey me. That is what I would say as well. Um, and the government data um, that they looked at is saying, well, it probably isn't going to be bankrupt, but the millennials won't be able to receive the same amount, not to do with inflation, but they won't be getting the same amount in benefits as their parents' generation. So it'll have to be scaled back in some way, shape, or form. Um, because when you hear politicians talk about it, it's like they blow things out of proportion, and I feel like they're just trying to win the debate or win the election. So I never really get like a straight answer of like how things are going and what the future looks like for the Social Security benefits program. Um, but that's what this survey said, and that's what the government is saying. And I guess, as I am helping people in my line of work, for the younger generation, my goal is to not have their retirement income at all dependent on Social Security. Hopefully, that will be like an added benefit, but I don't think it's like a smart idea to plan on it. I meet some people that rely only on Social Security benefits, and that's a really harsh reality. Um, some due to like just poor planning, they just didn't plan ahead for retirement. And a lot of it is due to like health problems. Um, they had huge health expenses that they weren't expecting, and it just drained all of their resources, and they're now on living on Social Security um, and Medicare, Medicaid in order to pay their bills. Um, so I think there's always going to need to be some sort of safety net for those people, that so they don't fall through the cracks. But I think that um, the people who are just using it as a supplement to their retirement, which is really what Social Security is designed for, is just a supplement to your retirement. I think that will be whittled away over time. So anyway, millennials, you don't have to jump on my bandwagon, but I think it would be smart to at least plan for it and then be pleasantly surprised. Um, let's see, this one last quote that came from the same Huffington Post article is from a professor at Jamie Hopkins. Or no, the professor is Jamie Hopkins. They're a professor at the American Colleges Retirement Income Program. They said that Social Security will change because it's unsustainable at its current rate. I think that kind of sums it up. Like, nobody really knows the exact numbers of when it will go bankrupt. But hopefully the politicians can, the president and Congress can make some changes prior to it going bankrupt, so that it can be sustainable for us millennials for when we retire as well. Um, One other quick idea that I had, I think, and this is just me thinking, my little political belief. I think it would work a lot better if we did Social Security on a statewide basis and not on like a federal basis, a national platform. I think that the national doing it as a national program is just it's so stinking big that it's really hard to run efficiently. And I think that if states could run the programs on their own, um, I think it would just be much more manageable. Now, of course, I recognize that I'm debating against no one here, so it's really easy to throw out ideas like that when no one's gonna pipe up and disagree with me. But there you have it. Keep your chin up because you are an overcomer.